What's going on, everybody? So yeah, we're in the new year now, and we're going to an estate sale. Lena jumped out of the car and got our numbers.
28 and 29.
Yeah, so pretty surprising. There are a bunch of people here today. I guess everybody's just excited to get back on their estate sale grind after the new year. This is the first one that I've seen pop up. So we're gonna split up a little bit. We've got a game plan. Lena's gonna go raid the closets. I'm gonna go look around for some other interesting, potentially profitable items. We'll bring you along with us, and hopefully we'll find some good stuff. Let's go.
Don't warm up. 28.
Oh, 28.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. 29.
And welcome back for a little estate sale play-by-play action. Here we go. On into the first bedroom here. As you can see, there's already quite a few people digging through stuff in here. First thing that caught my eye was this old fedora here. There's a number of them on the couch. I was hoping to see a name brand like Stetson or Filson, something like that, but nothing really jumped out at me, so I left them all behind. Next thing I see here is this Olympus old camera. If it was a Canon, probably would have picked it up. And then of course we've got the old Burberry's jacket here. So this is a vintage one, trench coat. It was priced at $45, which is a little more than I wanted to pay for it. Probably had some money to be made there, but I eventually decided to put it back on the wall there. There I am picking up a Sony Walkman cassette player. I don't know, picked it up for $3. We'll talk a little bit more about this one later. Out of that first room there, turned the corner, and I remember that I saw in the photos there was something I wanted in the laundry room. So there it is, this old Surf Ohio trucker hat. Actually has some interesting history to it, so stick around, we'll talk a little bit more about that hat towards the end of the video. Moving on into my favorite place, which is the closet. I was pretty sure Lena had already been through this at this point in the sale, but never hurts to go through and check. They did have some pretty cool vintage t-shirts, but nothing that was going to be worth a ton of money. Here's like a Stan Kenton. He's an old blues musician, if I'm not mistaken, or jazz perhaps. Pretty cool, but the market for those is going to be pretty slim. They were asking $5 a piece. So I looked through all the t-shirts. I think we ended up picking up one or two. We'll show you here later, but okay, so I'm organizing and just kind of figuring out what I'm going to keep. And I'm looking around, I turned the corner, and hanging on that doorknob there is definitely going to be the coolest find of this estate sale. Here we go, I'm just kind of figuring out what the heck this thing is, and boom, there you have it. A Paul McCartney New World Tour pair of vintage shorts from 1993. These things are crazy. I was so stoked. My heart was pumping at this point, so I grabbed those pretty quick. Looked through this little pile of sweaters here. Nothing really caught my eye, so we got out of there. Here, picking up an old 1980s Rubik's Cube. They don't go for big money, but it was in perfect condition with the box, so I grabbed it. This estate sale here, if you're into books, man, this place was absolutely loaded. They were overflowing into pretty much every room of the house. I know that there was a bunch of money to be made with these books, but I just don't have the patience for it. I've never really been into selling books. Here's an old Michigan Wolverines champion hat. Definitely picked this thing up, even though I do hate Michigan. Go Ohio State. But yeah, it is what it is. There is an old pair of Apple wired headphones that are brand new. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I was really hoping that this is going to be a Burberry umbrella here. If it were, it was going to be worth around 150 bucks or so. I checked this thing out thoroughly, and I could not find a maker's mark anywhere. So for 20 bucks, I ended up leaving it behind. And then here's me and Lena finally going through all of our finds, kind of deciding what we wanted to keep and what we wanted to leave behind. I'm checking a few comps. And then we end up paying and getting out of there. I think I spent about 40 bucks. All right, next stop, we're gonna go to a few thrift stores. And with the first official thrift find of 2023, I'll be picking up this vintage New Era Seattle Mariners fitted hat. It is 100% wool, size 7 1/4. It is made in the USA. So it's an older one, $3 into probably 30. It's got a couple pretty decent finds here. This new Goodwill. Here we have the ABC Super Soap Weekend t-shirt from 1998. It's on the old Disney World tag. Still has the original price tag of $19. Disney MGM Studios, pretty cool. So this is like a soap opera weekend at Disney, I guess. I'll have to do some more research into this. Might be kind of long tail, but pretty cool item. And then here, just looks like your average everyday hoodie, but the brand is Flint & Tinder, made in USA. Super high quality, I could just tell by the construction of it, but these things go for a pretty penny. I believe they are Huckberry branded, which is an outdoor kind of website. We'll flash some comps up on the screen here, but this is a super nice hoodie. Should be like $5. Okay, so I'm in this thrift store that is always terrible. I never come in here, but for whatever reason today, I drove by it and I was like, you know what? We're gonna come in. And it turns out, found something pretty good. For $12.99. Came up on a pair of New Balance 990s made in USA. They're a little beat up, but honestly, not too bad. These things, if you don't know, they sell for really good money, like around $100 or so. Never seen this color before, so these might go for quite a bit more. It's like a cream color with a purple back, so we'll see. We'll look these up when we get home, but pretty stoked on these. We stopped in the Goodwill bins this morning for a couple minutes. It was super slow, so got out of there, ran over to another thrift, pick up two decent little things here. Lion King Broadway musical t-shirt. It's pretty cool. Not like super valuable, but it's $2. And then Miami University Champion crew neck. This is like a local university here in Ohio. It is $3.89, probably 20 to 25 bucks. So we'll grab this. Here's a pretty cool vintage 1960s Disneyland California tray. They're not really worth that much, but they look cool. And then of course we've got the baby Simba from Lion King. We did pick this guy up for 99 cents. They sell for around 20 bucks or so. We have a Miami University Red Hawks Champion crew neck sweatshirt. Not a super old one, it's early 2000s. There's the tag there, so we picked it up. And then here we have a pretty cool find. It's a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren color block button-up dress shirt. You can see right here the older dark blue polo tag. So we picked that one up, already sold it for 37 bucks. So here's a nice pair of women's Everlane organic cotton sweatpants. There's the tag there. They actually sell for pretty decent money, like 30 bucks or so, and the sell-through rate's pretty good. It's a pretty cool find. This is like an older Columbus Blue Jackets, like quarter zip fleece. Got the older logo, Lee sport tag, $8, which is a little expensive for this. So we'll see. Found these pretty interesting Nike Air Max 97s camo edition. They're 12 bucks, so we're gonna grab these guys. All right, so the thrift hunt has just taken me all over this town today, but we just popped into another thrift store, came up on 3 decent pairs of shoes. Pair of Teva like closed-toe sandals for $3.99. These don't sell for a ton of money, but they do sell pretty frequently, even in the colder months. So people go on vacation, they want to pick these up. Got a pair of women's Fry boots. So this is a really good brand. It's hard to see, but it says the Fry Company. Let's see if you can see it inside here. There you go. Fry boots. These are women's. They were $6. Should sell somewhere between like 60, maybe more, 60, 80 bucks. And then last but not least, in that store, picked up a pair of Harley Davidson women's motorcycle boots. So I see these all the time, but usually they're completely banged up and just not worth picking up. Like the leather's usually peeling and they're just completely worn, used and abused. But these are pretty good shape. They were $8 and they don't sell for huge money, but they again sell rather frequently. So I think it's a pretty good pickup. So I picked this up in the Goodwill bins earlier today. It's a Fisher-Price picnic basket from the year 1974. These are so cool. You'd think they'd be worth more money, but like $15 shipped. But with the price you're paying at the bins, this is like $1. We'll definitely ship first class, so it's a no-brainer for me. All right, y'all, so we're back home. Just wanted to mention a few things about some of the pickups that we've had recently. Okay, so first of all here, with this Disney 1998 Super Soap Weekend t-shirt. It is pretty cool. It's kind of obscure, so I'm hoping that some Disney collector will potentially be interested in this thing. So like I said, it's brand new with tags. So one thing you're definitely going to watch out for with older, brand new vintage t-shirts, specifically black t-shirts, is the potential for dry rot. So if you're into vintage clothing, you probably already know this, but just in case you don't. So with specifically black t-shirts that are brand new, never been washed, vintage ones, basically what can happen is the black dye, the acidity in the dye can actually disintegrate the fabric of the shirt to where the shirt can literally just pull apart. So what you're going to want to do just to check for dry rot before you purchase these t-shirts is just grab the edge of the sleeve and just give it a nice little tug. Make sure you can't rip it super easily with your hands. So this one's good to go. If it were dry rot, it would literally just start to shred super easily. So just make sure you're watching out for that when you're purchasing brand new vintage black t-shirts. If they've been through the wash, the acidity in the dye has been washed out and they're good to go. Next off, just didn't show this in the video, I thought it was pretty cool. This is a Steamboat Willie Disney plush toy. They go for like $30 surprisingly, so they're pretty cool. Okay, so with these Sony Walkman here, this is a cassette player I paid $3 for, so not like a huge gamble or anything. So here's the thing with these, 95% of the time, at least in my experience, they don't work the way they're supposed to. So the AM FM function does work, the radio works, but the actual cassette player mechanism inside there does not work. And the reason for that is there's a little belt in there that ends up either completely stretching out or just snapping altogether that renders these things pretty much useless until you replace that belt. So luckily for me, I do have some extra belts laying around that I purchased a while back to replace one in another cassette player that I have. It might not really be worth your time considering these only sell for like $30. But if you're interested in doing something like that, it's really not that difficult to replace, and it is kind of a nice little learning lesson. So this Surf Ohio hat, I just thought this was really cool. So I actually already sold it on eBay for $36. But this is kind of like a cult following old vintage brand. So obviously the surfing in Ohio, being that we're not very close to the ocean, is pretty much non-existent. So this is kind of like an old parody brand. So it's actually kind of funny. I don't know what it is about this brand, but there actually are some photos online of several celebrities rocking this brand, including Arnold Schwarzenegger and some of the members of the Beach Boys. So pretty cool. And here you have it, the find of that estate sale. These things are absolutely awesome. Here we have the Paul McCartney New World Tour Down Under 1993 shorts. So these things were specifically sold in the Australia leg of the World Tour back in '93. They've got the Brockham patch on the leg here, as well as up on the waist. The tag here, Acme Merchandising, made in Australia. So you have to imagine these things are just going to be incredibly rare because first of all, they were only sold in the Australia leg of the tour. Second of all, whoever is in charge of doing the ordering for the merchandise for these tours, you'd have to imagine that a pair of shorts is just not going to sell nearly as good as a t-shirt, for instance. So I'd be willing to bet that the quantity of shorts produced was extremely low for this tour, making this item incredibly rare, especially to find in the United States. So I've used every method of research that I have available to me to try to find out some more information on these shorts, and I've not been able to find any other shorts like these online. Not a picture, nothing. So with something this rare, you pretty much just get to name your price and then you wait around in hopes that somebody's gonna buy it. Okay, so that's going to conclude the reseller portion of this video. Next, I'm just going to drop in a little bit of footage of a pretty cool hike that Lina, myself, and Emmett went on the other day. As usual, we really appreciate you watching. More videos to come, and y'all are awesome. We'll see you later. Going over the bridge. All right, so we're checking out a new section of Darby Creek Metro Park that we've actually never been to. So this is called the Pleasant Valley area. And there's a lake over here. We're gonna go on a little hike. We've got Braddy Emmett. He is crying up a storm. Uh-oh. Just came across something cool. Can anyone guess what this is? This is the doings of a beaver. You can see he chewed down this little tree here. Here's all the wood chips from the beaver. You can see like the little teeth marks on there.
Whoa, the teeth marks.
Pretty cool. Here's another one.
Emmett, smell it. Ooh, there's another one.
There's beavers in this here lake, guys. Come on, Emmy. I think he's scared. Come here, you angry beaver. His leash is tangled up. What are you doing, bruh? You can see a tree that was gnawed by a beaver every 10 feet or so. Some of them are older, you can tell this one's like not as fresh. Their teeth continue to grow, so they have to chew on stuff to keep them filed down. Good boy.